desires of everyone, and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudhira
Ajotaya Mudiraye
Nasta Prayeshu Vabhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Utamashloke
Bhagavati Utamashloke
Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki.
We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti, text number 22. Nama Pankaja Nabhaya,
Nama Pankaja Nabhaya,
Nama Pankaja Maline,
Nama Pankaja Maline,
Nama Pankaja Netraya,
Nama Pankaja Netraya,
Namaste Pankajangraye,
Namaste Pankajangraye,
Nama Pankajanabhaya,
Nama Pankaja Nabhaya,
Nama Pankajamaline,
Nama Pankaja Maline,
Nama Pankajanetraya,
Nama Pankaja Netraya,
Namaste Pankajangraye,
Namaste Pankajangraye.
Nama Pankajanabhaya,
Nama Pankajanabhaya.
Nama Pankajamaline,
Nama Pankaja Maline,
Nama Pankajanetraya,
Nama Pankaja Netraya,
Namaste Pankajangraye,
Namaste Pankajangraye.
Nama Pankaja Nabhaya,
Nama Pankajanabhaya,
Nama Pankaja Maline,
Nama Pankajamaline,
Nama Pankaja Netraya,
Nama Pankajanetraya,
Namaste Pankajangraye.
Namaste Pankajangraye,
Nama Pankajanabhaya.
Nama Pankajanabhaya,
Nama Pankajamalini.
Nama Pankajamaline,
Nama Pankajanetraya.
Nama Pankajanetraya,
Namaste Pankajagraye.
Nama Pankajana, Nama Pankaja,
Pankajangraye,
Namaste
Pankajangraye,
Pankajangraye. Okay. Nama,
Nama,
all respectful obeisances.
all respectful obeisance,
Pankajanabhaya,
Pankajanabhaya,
unto the Lord who has a specific depression resembling a lotus flower in the center of his abdomen.
unto the Lord who has a specific Pankajanabhaya, unto the Lord who has a specific depression resembling the lotus flower in the center of his abdomen.
Nama,
Nama,
obeisances.
obeisances,
Pankajamalane,
Pankajamaline,
one who is always decorated with a garland of lotus flowers.
one who is always decorated with a garland of lotus flowers.
Nama,
Nama,
obeisances.
obeisances,
Pankajanetraya,
Pankajanetraya,
one whose glance is as cooling as a lotus flower.
One whose glance is as cooling as a lotus flower.
Namate,
Namate,
respectful obeisances unto you.
respectful obeisances unto you.
Pankaja Angrae,
Pankaja Angraye,
unto you.
unto you.
The soles of whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers.
The soles of whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers.
And who are therefore said to possess lotus feet.
And who are therefore said to possess lotus feet.
Translation. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Here are some of the specific symbolic marks on the spiritual body of the personality of Godhead, which distinguish his body from the bodies of all others. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, but he is always distinct by his specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. This is claimed because women, Sudras, the laborer class, and the Dvijabandhus, or the wretched descendants of the higher three classes, are unfit by intelligence to understand transcendental subject matter connected or concerning the spiritual name, fame, attributes, forms, etc. of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Such persons, although they are unfit to enter into the spiritual affairs of the Lord, can see him as the Archa-Vigraha, who descends to the material world just to distribute favors to the fallen souls, including the above-mentioned women, Sudras, and Dvijabandhus. Because such fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter, the Lord condescends to enter into each and every one of the innumerable universes as the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, who grows a lotus stem from the lotus-like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen. And thus Brahma, the first living being in the universe, is born. Therefore, the Lord is known as the Pankajanabi. The Pankajanabi Lord accepts the Archa-Vigraha, his transcendental form, in different elements, namely a form within the mind, a form made of wood, a form made of earth, a form made of metal, a form made of jewels, a form made of paint, a form drawn on sand, etc. All such forms of the Lord are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, and there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees, always engaged in material wranglings. The meditators worship a form within the mind. Therefore, the Lord is merciful even to the women, Sudras and Dvijabandhus, provided they agree to visit the temple of worship in different forms made for them. Such temple visitors are not idolaters, as alleged by some men with a poor fund of knowledge. All the great acharyas established such temples of worship in all places just to favor the less intelligent. And one should not pose himself as transcending the stage of temple worship while one is actually in the category of the Sudras and the women or less. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Srimati Kunti, because of her being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see the Lord from the lotus feet because the Lord might feel ashamed. And thus Kunti, just to save a painful situation for the Lord, began to see the Lord just above his lotus feet. That is, from the waist of the Lord, gradually rising to the face, and then down to the lotus feet. In the round, everything there is in order. Om Jnana Timirandasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shikvancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Queen Kunti is continuing her glorification of Lord Krishna, and today we're hearing some of the transcendental features on the body of the Lord. First of all, she talks about the Lord's abdomen. The abdomen of Lord Krishna, very transcendental, because when Lord Krishna expands into his Purusha avatar forms, first there's Mahavishnu, and then Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and then Shirodakashayi Vishnu. These are all the Purusha avatars for the purpose of creation. And of course we know that Mahavishnu expands into each universe as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And from the body of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, water comes out, and that water becomes the Garbhodak ocean in the bottom half of the universe. So Garbhodakashayi Vishnu lays down on that water of the Garbhodak ocean, and then from his navel the lotus flower comes out. And from that lotus flower, the lotus flower opens and Lord Brahma takes birth. So this is the special feature about the Lord's abdomen. Actually, different parts of the Lord's body are marked with symbols, like are marked with, are compared to lotus flowers. Not only the abdomen. He has lotus hands, and he has lotus feet, and he has lotus eyes, and he has a lotus face, and he has also lotus lips. Right? So different parts of the Lord's body are all compared to the lotus flower. Why the lotus flower? Because the lotus flower is very beautiful, and is to describe Lord Krishna's attractive nature. Just like lotuses they attract a lot of attention. People like very much lotus flowers. So the Lord, He also decorates Himself with a garland of lotus flowers. And the garland of lotus flowers, which is placed around the neck of Lord Krishna, sometimes the garland will be eternal, that they never wilt. You know, we have flowers, we get a garland and it falls apart very quickly they wither. But Lord Krishna's garland of lotus flowers can be eternal. So Lord Krishna enjoys lotus flowers, and then His glance is as cool as the lotus. So, you know, we can look at people, and sometimes you may look at people in a cold way or in an angry way. Your glance can be very strong, but here we're told the glance is as cool as the lotus flower. So this is Krishna's transcendental position, that he's always aloof from the material energy. What's he doing?
Something happened. What happened? Nothing? Okay, sit.
So Lord Krishna's glance is as cool as the lotus. He looks at something, he looks calmly. He's not bewildered by the material energy. Rather, he is the controller of the material energy. And then his feet are also marked with lotus flowers. Of course, there are many different symbols on the lotus feet of the Lord. And these different symbols all have different significance. For example, one of the signs on the Lord's lotus feet is the goad, which is used for controlling the elephant. So why is that symbol on the Lord's lotus feet? Because just like controlling an elephant, you have to have that sharp goad to stick into the elephant. So our mind is like an elephant. And we need that goad to stick into our mind, to bring our mind to think of Krishna, because the mind is so restless. Anyway, the lotus flower is the symbol of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, and having the symbol of the lotus flower on the Lord's lotus feet, then it means that he's always got the protection. He's always got the blessings of the goddess of fortune, because the goddess of fortune she's the eternal consort of the Lord. Right? Lord Krishna is known as Madhava, and so the goddess of fortune, she will always give her blessings on Lord Madhava. So in this way, Queen Kunti is describing these special features which are on the body of the Lord. In the different forms of the Lord, different features, like in Vaikuntha, Lord Narayan, he has different features. Lord Narayan, he has the mark of Srivatsa on his chest. And he has also the Kaustubha gem around his neck. So, although everybody in Vaikuntha may have 4 arms, you know, everybody's got 4 arms here in Vaikuntha, how can they distinguish who is actually Lord Narayan? And it's these 2 marks which distinguish Lord Narayan from the other forms of the Lord, or from the other personalities who are living there in Vaikuntha. Those 2 symbols, the Srivatsa hair on the chest, and also the Kaustubha gem around his neck. Only those 2, only the Supreme Lord has those things. So when you go to Vaikuntha, you have to look for these things to be able to identify who is the Supreme Lord. Because everyone looks like the Lord. Everyone has 4 arms and they have beautiful features and everything. But only the Lord, only Supreme Lord, he has the Srivatsa mark and the Kaustubha gem. So Lord Krishna distinguishes himself from the other living entities. Some people say that, oh, we're making God in the image of man. They say that we're giving this form to Krishna. We're making Krishna into this form because our form is like that, so we say Krishna must have also a form. But we should understand it's not like that, it's the other way. We are made in the image of God. Krishna is the original form. He's the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all the forms, they all come from him. So when he comes into the material world, people think that he's an ordinary person. Again, they don't understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. So Queen Kunti, she can understand these things. But at the same time, she says she's not fit to see the Lord. And she claims she's disqualified from seeing the Lord because she's a woman. And in the Vedic culture, the women are considered lower. Right? Striyo Vaishyas Tata Sudras Tepi Yanti Paramgatim. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, even though you be of lower birth, like women, Sudras and Vaishyas, they're all considered lower birth, but they can all achieve the supreme destination. So, Queen Kunti, she's very humble. It's the nature of the devotee. The more one's a pure devotee, the less one thinks one's a devotee. So Queen Kunti doesn't think of herself as being a very good devotee. That's a sign of how advanced she is. So these other people like Sudras and Vaishyas, the Dvija Bandhus mean they're from the Brahmana family, but they're low, they have bad habits, they're degraded. So they also cannot understand the Supreme Lord. They're not able to enter into the pastimes of the Lord as he is as a person. When the Lord comes in this world to take part in the Lord's pastimes, they have to be very pure. Not just anybody gets into the pastimes of the Lord. So it's said the devotee, before they go back to Godhead, they will take birth on some planet wherever the Lord is appearing, and you have to take part in the Lord's pastimes in this material world. And you get further training before you go back to Godhead. So that's what happens, you see. That's what happened. The devotee doesn't immediately go back to Godhead, but he takes birth wherever Lord Krishna is performing his pastimes. And you take part in the pastimes of the Lord in the material world. And that way you get more training. So Prabhupada says that even though you may not be fit to enter into the pastimes of the Lord, because to enter into the Lord's pastimes, you have to be pure devotee. You have to have developed love of Krishna. So it's a rare thing to be able to qualify for the pastimes of the Lord. But Prabhupada said other people, they can see Krishna through the deity. You have the deity, what he calls the Archa Vigraha. Archa Vigraha means the form of the Lord as he appears in the deity. And the deity is also an avatar, it's an incarnation of the Lord. The Lord descends into the form of the deity. And in this way we can cultivate a relationship with the Lord through the deity. This is the Lord's mercy, that the Lord comes into the deity form. Prabhupada says, because we're fallen souls, we cannot see anything except the material energy. So Krishna enters into the material energy and he spiritualizes it. He enters into that form of the deity. So this is the Lord's compassion, that we can approach the Lord through the deity. Worshipping the deity is one of the 5 items recommended by Rupa Goswami, which are very powerful. And just by developing a little attraction for one of these 5 items, then we can go back to Godhead. So worshipping the deity has to be done very carefully. And actually Rupa Goswami says, don't look on the form of Govinda. Don't look on the form of Govinda, because if you look on the form of Govinda, you will lose your attraction for your family and for society and friends. So you better not look on the form of Govinda. Of course, Rupa Goswami wants us to look on the form of Govinda, and he's describing to us the potency, the power of seeing the form. When you actually see the deity, then we will lose our taste for material life. Just by, if you see the deity, if you actually understand that Krishna is here in the form of the deity, that this is Krishna, and then when we see that form, when we become attracted to that form, then we will have no more taste for the material world, no more taste for all these bodily relationships, because we will understand the real relationship is with Krishna in the spiritual world, and we will want to enter into that relationship, to be with Krishna in his pastimes. So worshipping the deity is a preparation for entering into Krishna's pastimes. So we're all encouraged to worship the deity. We worship the deity every day, cooking for the deity, putting on different festivals for the pleasure of the deity, all these things. This is all part of deity worship. And this is how we develop our relationship with Krishna. We can know Krishna through the deity. And developing that relationship with Krishna, then we become more and more absorbed in service to Krishna. We want more and more that opportunity to be with Krishna. All right, so Queen Kunti goes on talking about the different features of the Lord. She just talks about the Pankajanabi Lord. The Pankajanabi Lord accepts the Archa Vigraha in different elements. And the Lord, Prabhupada mentions the different elements in which the deity can be made from. See, here we have the brass teeth and metal, right? But the Lord can also be made from wood, just like Lord Jagannath. Darumurti. Darumurti means the form of the Lord in wood. But the Lord can also be within the mind. You can have a deity within your mind, and you can be worshipping the deity in your mind. And the deity can also be made from earth. Just like often when they have festivals, they will make deities out of clay. So that clay, that is earth. And then you can have also a form of the Lord made of jewels. Some people, wealthy people, they have these jewels, they have these pictures of the Lord, oh, jewels. And it can also be made from paint. So they have different paintings of the Lord. If you go to Nathdwara, Nathdwara is the place where they worship Srinathji. Srinathji is the deity of Krishna found by Madhavendra Puri on the Govardhan hill. So people paint the picture of Krishna there. They paint the picture of this Krishna deity, and they will get a very special yellow color for the dhoti. Krishna's dhoti is a very special yellow color. And they told me how they get that color. The because when they paint, they will rub stones. They don't just use tubes of color and stuff. They actually have stones, and they rub the stones, and they get the different colors from the stone. But for Krishna's dhoti, what they do is they have cows. They'll just feed them mango leaves. They will give the cows mango leaves to eat. Mango leaf. And then after they've eaten mango leaves for a month or so, then they'll take the urine from that cow, and it will be very yellow. So this is how they get the yellow color for the
Dhoti.
for the dhoti, right?
Wow. Srinathji.
So Prabhupada said all these different forms of the Lord, they're always decorating with garlands of lotus flowers. So we know, of course, here in Switzerland, flowers are very expensive. It's very difficult. In Zurich, the temple, they only buy flowers one day a week because it costs so much money for the flowers. They cannot afford to get flowers every day. But at least on Sundays, they have very nice decorations with flowers. And Prabhupada said the atmosphere in the temple should be also soothing. We should feel like the temple is like an oasis in the desert. Or you should think it's like the shelter from the blazing fire of material existence. The material world is like a forest fire. It's so unpleasant, so many difficulties. But you come to the temple and you feel relief. So that is the effect of the temple. It's actually giving shelter to the conditioned souls from materialistic life, which is always miserable. So some people, they will meditate on the Lord within the mind, and Krishna is so kind that he appears in the mind of the devotees. And you can worship that form of the Lord. And the Nectar of Devotion tells a story about how the one man was worshipping the Lord in the mind, and every day, because he was a Brahmana and he was very poor, he didn't have any paraphernalia to worship the Lord. He didn't even have any deity or anything. But he heard you can worship the Lord in your mind. So he began to do it. He began to worship the Lord in his mind every day. Every day he would go to the holy rivers and he would collect water from the Ganga and the Yamuna and the Godavari and the Narmada and bring the water, and then he'd bathe the deity with all this water, and then he would dress the deity, put on beautiful clothes, all in his mind. He would decorate the deity, he put on a beautiful flower garland, did everything for the deity in his mind. He didn't actually have any deity, but he was meditating every day like that within his mind, doing this nice service for the deity. And he would even cook for the deity. And he was cooking and cooking. And one day he wanted to cook a feast. He cooked some sweet rice. And when you cook sweet rice, the sweet rice, it shouldn't be hot. It should be cool. They say the taste of the sweet rice is better when it's cool. So this devotee, he was cooking sweet rice, and he wanted to offer the sweet rice. He wasn't sure if it would be cool enough. So you're not supposed to eat anything until it's offered. But what he did, he put his finger in the sweet rice just to see if it's hot or not. And he burned his finger. He actually burned his finger. I was so surprised, because he thought he was only meditating. But he just, in his meditation, he put his finger in the sweet rice and, well, got a burned finger. So he was wondering what's going on. And Lord Narayan was watching in Vaikuntha. Lord Narayan saw his devotee, how he was being puzzled like that. And Lord Narayan said, bring this man back to Godhead. And they brought him straight back to Godhead. So this is a nice story telling about how you can worship the Lord in the mind. And we have to fix the mind on Krishna so that we can do that. We can serve it in the mind. You know, you may not have flowers, but in your mind you can meditate on having beautiful flowers and offering them to Krishna. You know, today we have some nice flowers because somebody gave some flowers last night. Huh?
Yes.
They must have cost quite a lot of money, I think.
And yes, maybe 20 francs at least.
Yeah, at least, yeah. So we're lucky someone gave the flowers. We could
It's
offer
very
them
beautiful.
to Krishna. So Prabhupada said, the Lord is merciful even to people of low born, low caste, women, Sudra, Dvijabandhu. He's merciful to them, but they have to go to the temple to see the form of the Lord. They have to worship the Lord. And they shouldn't think they'll get the Lord's mercy just by sitting at home and watching television. You know, they have to go to the temple. And Prabhupada said, going to the temple, the deity is not an idol. Idol are things made in the mind. There's forms imagined. But we go to the temple to see the deity. The deity is actually the Lord in person. He's there in the deity. And we should go to the temple to be seen. Just like there was the one man, blind man, he was asking his friend, please take me to the temple. And his friend was saying, why? And he said, why do you want to go to the temple? You're blind, you can't see anything. He said, well, I'm blind, but I want the Lord to see me. So that should be the mood. When you go to the temple, you go to be seen, not to see. The Lord is the seer. We're the seen. So we have to go to the temple and go to see the Lord with the right attitude. And Prabhupada said, all the great acharyas established temples just to favor the less intelligent. And we shouldn't think that, oh, temple worship, this is for neophytes, I'm already an advanced devotee. No, we shouldn't think like that. Even, we should take part in the temple worship. And we should, from time to time, we should offer arti, and every day we should go to see the deities. There's many devotees, every day they'll go to see the deity. They will not do anything until they first of all go to see the deity. It said there was one man who used to live in Ayodhya, and he would go to see Lord Ramachandra every day and offer obeisances to Lord Ramachandra. But sometimes Lord Ramachandra would go out on tour. He would go and visit different places in the kingdom. He wouldn't be there. And so when the man came, he couldn't offer obeisances to Lord Rama because Lord Rama was away. So the man would fast until Lord Rama came back. And sometimes the man would be fasting 4 or 5 days without eating. So when Lord Rama heard about this, he was very upset. He said, oh my goodness, this is not good. This man shouldn't have to fast like this. So he called the man and he gave the man a deity. He said, this is my deity, Sitaram deity. He said, you can worship this deity. He said, this deity is not different from me. So the man was worshipping the deity. And that deity is there also now. It's in the temple in Jagannath Puri. So like that, we can see the Lord and the Lord's deity, they're not different. And then Prabhupada talks about the process of seeing the Lord, that we have to see the Lord from the lotus feet. That when you go to see a superior person, you look down, you bow before them. You bow before them, and then gradually you look up. So just like that, the same way Srimad Bhagavatam represents the form of the Lord. And the lotus feet of the Lord, Pada Padma, the lotus feet of the Lord is the first 2 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we read the other cantos, we should first of all study the first 2 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it said if you still have material desires, then you're not qualified to go on to higher cantos. You have to purify the mind by reading the first 2 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada said that we should not look on the face of the Lord without first of all seeing the lotus feet. So you have to begin from the lotus feet and gradually look up. And Prabhupada talks about how Queen Kunti would not look on the lotus feet of the Lord because she's the aunt. She's the aunt of Lord Krishna, so she doesn't want to embarrass Lord Krishna by looking at his lotus feet. So she would look at Krishna from the ankles up. That's how Queen Kunti showed her relationship with Lord Krishna. And the lotus face of Lord Krishna, that is the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can understand Krishna through the Srimad Bhagavatam. We can understand Krishna through the deity. We have to train ourselves how to approach the deity worship. Prabhupada said 2 things are very important: cleanliness and punctuality. Deity should be worshipped punctually, and we should also keep standards of cleanliness. And this is pleasing to Lord Krishna. Okay, any questions? Any questions out over there? Yashoda Mai, Yuvati Sachi?
Pirangelo Simon.
Pirangelo Prabhu?
Everything is very clear.
Yes.
You explained it so nicely. Thank you, Maharaj.
This is another very nice verse. You can sing this verse one also. Yesterday we were learning that Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopal
Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha.
And today, Nama Pankaja Nabaya, Nama Pankaja Maline, Nama Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. Like that. So it's very nice verses.
Little bit easy, Guru Maharaj.
Huh?
Easy verse.
Yeah, they're easy verses to sing. Yeah.
And beautiful also.
Right. So you can remember Krishna very easily with these nice verses, chanting these verses. So lotus flowers, we have a big lake in Mayapur. It's meant to be growing lotus flowers because we offer a lot of lotus flowers to the deities there in Mayapur. So you get lotus flowers from the big lake there in Mayapur. And they have a boat. You go out in the boat and get the lotuses, bring them back, make a garland for Krishna. So lotus. Yes.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance to Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, in which case can we chant these 2 verses, Krishnaya Vasudevaya and Nama Pankajanabhaya?
When can we chant?
Yeah, when can we chant? Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay.
Anytime. All you can chant, just like Krishna says, Kirtaniya Sadahari. You can always chant his holy name. So you can always chant these verses anytime. You want to remember Krishna, we want to remember Krishna, you can sing these verses. When you're walking to the temple, when you're going shopping, when you're moving around, when you're cooking, when you're cleaning, you can be chanting these verses. Very nice to practice. Reciting these verses help us to remember Krishna. Right? His abdomen, his nabha. Krishna's nabha is pankaja. Pankaja is the lotus, and nabha is the abdomen. So Lord's abdomen is marked with the depression, And then Malina. Mala is the garland. So Pankaja Malini, a garland of lotus flowers. And then Netra, the eyes. Pankaja Netraya, the glance. The eyes are as cool as a lotus flower. And then Pankaja Angraye, the lotus feet, like our dear devotee Pankajangari Prabhu, who served in Mayapur for so many years. He was given this nice name, Pankajangari, the lotus.
It was a twin.
Yes,
One
right.
of the two. Yeah.
Yeah, the twin.
Who
Janani.
lived a few years ago, due to
Yeah,
this.
COVID, during time of COVID he left.
And he was in charge of putting the helmet of Hanuman on the head after the kirtan.
He would put he would take that's the lotus feet. The lotus feet of Lord Nrsingadev. The lotus feet of Lord Nrsingadev are on the hat, and they put that helmet on the head of the devotees when you come for darshan. So he was serving Lord Nrsingadev on the altar for many years. So it was a very tragic departure to lose him. He was such a nice devotee. And anyway, Janani Vas Prabhu is there, still there, and he's going on serving. So Pankaja Angraye, the lotus feet. When Akrura came to Vrindavan and he saw Krishna's lotus footprints in the dust, then he fell off his chariot and he rolled in the dust. So he could recognize Krishna's footprints because all the different marks are there on Krishna's lotus feet. And so when he saw these markings, he knew this is Lord Krishna's lotus feet. And he fell off his chariot and rolled in the dust. So Prabhupada said, this is how you enter the holy dham. You should enter the holy dham in that way, rolling in the dust. Okay, so this is very nice verse. Okay, no more questions today. So we finish here.
Guru Maharaj, for deity worship,
Uh-huh.
for Gauranitai,
Uh-huh.
we can worship easily, right?
Huh?
Gauranita is the most easiest worship.
Yes, Gaurnitai very merciful. Prabhupada said you can worship Gaurnitai just by kirtan. Even if you don't cook or you don't have any dresses or anything, but you can worship Gaurnitai just simply by kirtan. He said they're very merciful.
Kirtan means singing, chanting,
Yeah.
hearing also. So
Yeah.
no, mostly singing and chanting. Oh, Hare Krishna, right?
Yeah, kirtan.
Kirtan, right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll finish here today. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Gaur
Jai, Haribo.
Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Jai.
Bhakti Vigna Vinash Narasimha Maharaj ki.
Jai.
Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Jai. Thank you very much, dear Guru Maharaj, for your wonderful classes.
Yes, thank you for your encouragement.
Thank you so much, dear Guru. So nice to see you. Thank you, dear Vaishnavi, for this
Thank you,
opportunity.
Mataji,
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
for your support. Guru Maharaj, in the stew of the apple, can I add little butter?
No.
No, just put the apple
Yeah.
and this one just put apple and cinnamon powder. No, put that. Okay. Nothing else, right?
Recording stopped.